Well, February is here, and as always, this is a month when we celebrate the 43 men who have served as President of the United States. But while the festivities usually revolve around George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, this year we recall another great American who entered the world in February, Ronald Wilson Reagan, the 40th President of the United States, born 100 years ago this month. Like Washington and Lincoln, Reagan was a man who changed the course of American history. But before he entered office, America was gripped by economic malaise. We were mocked as feeble and weak around the globe, and we had lost the core convictions of American exceptionalism after a decade when it seemed like our best days were behind us. Ronald Reagan turned all that around, not because he discovered something new about America, but because he discovered something durable and true, that the greatness of our nation stems inexorably from our founding principles. Reagan knew that when government is limited, citizens will flourish. He knew that central planning could never substitute for the dreams and hard work of millions of American entrepreneurs. And he knew that the existence of liberty is contingent on the continued bravery and sacrifice of free people. Ronald Reagan didn't come from the privileged halls of Ivy League schools, the fancy offices of a top law firm or a Fortune 500 company, or a family steeped in money and power. Instead, he grew up a humble son of the Midwest, committed to America's bedrock values and free of even an ounce of conceit. Nor did he conduct himself like a typical politician. He didn't rely on facile sound bites or clever political posturing. Instead, he lived out the core convictions that he developed through a lifetime of careful study and deliberate thought. When he bid his farewell to the presidency in 1989, Ronald Reagan said that he hadn't been a great communicator so much as someone who had communicated great things. Here at the Center for Individual Freedom, we give him credit for both. And we also give him credit for restoring the American spirit, healing the American economy, putting the forces of big government in retreat, and ensuring that today the Berlin Wall is nothing more than rubble. A good president would have reminded us that America has the potential to be a shining city on a hill. But because he was a great one, Ronald Reagan took action to ensure that we would become that city. For that, and for all of his contributions to the cause of liberty, we are forever in his debt.
You know, we were being told by our government before that election that we should lower our sights, that never again would we live at the level that we lived as Americans, that the world was different now, and that we must be willing to tighten our belts and not have the things we used to have. My philosophy and my belief was that it was a long way for us to go in improving what we had ever known before, that this country of ours was a country of constant improvement. And so I thought that, well, what my whole approach was based on the promise of a better America.
On behalf of a grateful nation, happy birthday to an American legend. That's this week's Freedom Minute.